Hello, race car fans and people that like what I think is the greatest sports car ever made, the McLaren F1. Although this is the racing version, the GTR. This is made by Kyosho, it's a diecast brand from Japan. They come in these blisters. They do come in a box, but I bought this used, so I don't know where that box is. And this car is the one that placed fourth in 1995. Uh, it's got a Gulf livery. That's the most I know of it. Oh, cool. Look at this. I didn't even realize it was a McLaren collection. Or maybe I did know this. It's just been so long. This is the car that actually won Le Mans outright. And then we have some long tail castings, which I do have that one. I have this in a different scale, maybe. All right, well, let's take a look here. I'm not going to talk too much about the car. I've spoken about this car so many times because it's my favorite car, but the Le Mans versions, these GTRs had around 600 horsepower, a little under that because they had air restrictors, naturally aspirated 6-liter BMW V12 rear-wheel drive, and these things were awesome. And the road cars were awesome. Alright, let's look at that. Kyosho, always, they generally do a really good job. It's just a real shame they don't seem to do 164 anymore. I haven't seen them put out a new collection in the years I've been collecting. Granted, I've only been collecting like 2 years. They do make larger scale vehicles and stuff. Well, the great thing about Kyosho is they use tampo printing in almost most of their models. This is all paint. It's not a decal, which is a real annoyance with the more modern brands of diecast out there switching to decals. Sadly, mine has a chip right here in the paint. This paint is actually metallic blue. You can see a little speckling in there, so it looks pretty nice. Yeah, the sponsorship looks good. It's just, hold on a sec. I want to get closer in on this guy. Yeah, look at that. You can read all that stuff. And it's paint. It's not a decal. You don't get that weird wrinkliness, right? It's smooth. It goes into the panel gaps. There's a nice reflector here. The vent here isn't too deep. It is a diecast after all. There's no disc brake systems on a Kyosho. I feel like maybe the center nut, it could have been there. I don't know. They put it on the rear wheel. I don't know why they got lazy, and it's kind of weird, right? Why would they skip it on the front wheel if someone went through the effort of putting on the back wheel? Very strange decisions there at Kyosho. The tires are nice. They're rounded a little bit, even though they're relatively low profile. They look like balloons of rubber. Michelin Man there. Let's see. I think that might be a door actuator. The mirror is cast. No, that's not casted in, is it? It's a separate. I think it's a separate plastic mirror. No, maybe it is casted in. It's just that the stock is so thin. Yeah, Kyosho did a great job back in the day. It's a real shame that they don't care anymore. Anyways, this doesn't want to roll at all. There's a lot of friction going on underneath this thing. The window molding there is physical and it's black paint, so that looks good. You can read the race car drivers' names there. Very nice. Going to the front, we have a casted in wiper blade, raised, painted black. We have a... Even this looks like a tampo print. It's not a decal on this plastic here. Granted, the headlights aren't the greatest. I mean, they're nice. There's a lens and there's some indication of light bulbs back there. It's just that they're really flat silver discs. But it is a deep, it is a real light bucket. Again, the paint is fantastic. We have some turn signals, running lights. In here we have a grille texture. This black paint in these vents here. The chin spoiler is part of the plastic base. The duck up here, there's no paint, but look where, there's a lot of paint going on elsewhere, so I can understand. I would have to suspect this model cost like $6 when it was brand new, so it puts almost all other diecast brands to shame if you think about that for its time. Vent there, I think that black is part of the plastic base. One thing though, look at this, the tire is starting to crack. Just like a real car. I guess the real McLaren, if it was from 1995, would have its tire cracked like that, but I'm sure they replaced it many a time. Okay, so the taillights, though, they are just painted metallic. They're not clear lenses, which is actually atypical of Kyosho. Oh, look at this, man. Well, whoever owned this last did a pretty decent job touching that up. The silver kind of matches, or I wonder if they did that at Kyosho. No, I doubt that. Look at the exhaust tips. You got some black in the middle, a little depth in them. Not bad for a piece of plastic molding. The wing, it's not a Hot Wheels wing, pretty thin, plastic. Tampo printing on the side and the top. The top, there's a texture in the, I guess that's the casting. Textures here, doesn't really show. Nakaduck, ducks, goose. And then a plastic interior. It's a little bit shiny. Yeah, wish it was a little duller, but it's black. That makes sense for a race car. And this is an older Kyosho because it has a press fit together base. A lot of I think the more modern ones, granted they're all old now, but they do have a bunch where they are screwed together so you can fix problems and modify them. Alright, let's take a look at a few other McLarens. Alright, I'm going to just show you 3 other Kyoshos. Here's the road car that the Kyosho did. Just in the standard silver. I think I had to modify it because the axle holes weren't really very good. So, that's alright. Here's the actual race-winning vehicle from that year, 1995. The Ueno Clinic version. So it's pretty much the same mold, just a different paint job. Yeah, it is from the same collection after all. And then from that same collection we have this long tail of the, I think it's Lark cigarettes. I think that's what that means. I don't smoke cigarettes really, so I do have a chronic cough from the air pollution here. So the long tails clearly is longer. See, setting up the nose roughly in the same area. You'll catch it spinning around, or I'll just do that. So the long tails came out later on, after 95. Okay. I put that on backwards so well. So why is this my favorite car? It's because, this is almost a street car. Granted, they lightened it up. They put the rear wing on. But I'm not really sure if they made that many great enhancements. The street car actually had more power in it. And this came in first place, third place, fourth place, and fifth place at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, this chassis. The the second place was called a Courage C34, which is a purpose-built, open-topped race car, like an LMP racer. So I think it's really cool that, McLaren could go out and do this. Mini GT is going to be coming out with McLaren F1 models. Of course, I've already pre-ordered the Ueno Clinic one, so we're going to compare it to the Kyosho. I do have a resin version of the Ueno Clinic by Scale Mini. I'm not even going to show it to you because the wheels are horrible. You can look up the review of that though if you want. So for today, I'm pretty happy. Again, Kyosho, it's a real shame they're not around, but they really did a good job back when they were actively doing this stuff, using Tampo printing. Pretty good details all around. I mean, those mirrors are some of the better mirrors in diecast, I think. They're literally die-cast metal mirrors, but they look like they would be plastic. Thank you for watching. See you at the next race.